America Park tonight. It's game one in this four-game series featuring the Detroit Tigers and the Kansas City Royals. 10 games to go in the regular season. Tigers trying to bounce back after the doubleheader loss yesterday, and they'll take on the Royals here tonight. If the Tigers combine for 3 or more home runs in this game, bring a copy of the box score to a participating Arby's location tomorrow and get a free small order of curly fries. Ned Yost and the Kansas City Royals are in town. And we'll check out his starting lineup presented by the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Gerard Dyson leads it off in center field, followed by the shortstop Alcides Escobar. Alex Gordon in left. Billy Butler is the DH. 101 RBIs this year. Salvador Perez catching. Mike Moustakas at third. Frank Coeur, Hosmer, Giavotella rounding out the lineup for Ned Yost. And the Tigers starter tonight is the ace, Justin Verlander, presented by Soaring Eagle Casino.
And Justin Verlander comes in 8-2 right here at Comerica Park with a 1.60 ERA. Absolutely has dominated any team that has been in this ballpark, and he has really good numbers career-wise against the Kansas City Royals. Let's take a look at Jim Leyland's defensive alignment behind Justin Verlander this evening. It is presented by Beaumont Health System. Quentin Berry gets a start on consecutive days here tonight. Austin Jackson in center. Dirks bumped over to right field. Prince Infante Peralta Cabrera in the infield. And it's good to see Alex Avila back behind that plate where he sits once again tonight.
There is Alex Avila getting the call behind the dish here tonight. Well, it's pretty simple on what remains for the Tigers and the White Sox. It's a one-game spread right now. Chicago 1 game better than Detroit. The Tigers will have KC, Minnesota, and then KC, while the Sox have 3 against Cleveland. They'll play 4 at home against Tampa. They finish on the road at Cleveland. So it'll be a fight down to the finish. It should be an interesting 10 days, and it all begins here tonight at Comerica Park. Another cool, crisp evening here at the ballpark as Verlander gets set to go to work this evening. And, of course, the Tigers leaning on their ace to get them back to their winning ways after dropping 2 of 3 against the Minnesota Twins.
When the Tigers were in Kansas City, this was the last week of August, the Kansas City Royals tacked an 8th spot on Justin Verlander, one of the worst starts of his major league career, so no doubt he'll be looking to go out and dominate here today. And one of the things he's done lately, he's gotten up to about 95, 96 miles an hour with his fastball in that very first inning. We'll see if he continues that pattern here this evening.
All right, he'll face Gerard Dyson, Alcides Escobar, and Alex Gordon in the top of the first inning. 63 degrees our game time temperature tonight here at the ballpark. And Dyson, the speedy center fielder with 28 swipes, is standing in to lead things off. And here we go. The first pitch of tonight's ball game coming home. And it's a strike called on Gerard Dyson.
And there he is, already up to 94.
Dyson at 268 has not homered. He has knocked in 9 runs. And Verlander's 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. He swings through 95 miles an hour.
Verlander said one of the reasons why he has started to throw the ball a lot harder in the very first inning is, one, he had a couple of bad starts tail end of August, first couple of starts of September. He says he feels stronger right now than he's ever felt because of what he does in the offseason, preparing himself for the year.
Flared in the air toward left where Quentin Berry is cruising over, and 1 gone. A good start keeping Dyson off the bases. It'll bring up Alcides Escobar. He is a .293 hitter, having a fabulous season for the Royals.
He's a nice two-way player. Not only does he get it done offensively, he gets it done defensively as well. He's got range at that shortstop position, and he's got one of the best throwing arms for a shortstop in baseball.
Escobar also one of those guys that gets on base, can steal some bags, and he pops it up. Right side of the infield. Prince calling for it, but is called off by Infante. 2 gone. So the 2 Royal speedsters put the ball in the air. 2 up, 2 away.
So far, so good for Verlander. His last start here at Comerica Park, he lasted just 6 innings, and it was because of his pitch count. His pitch count was elevated, and Jim Leyland decided to get him out of the baseball game.
Verlander has needed just 4 pitches right now to dispose of the first 2 hitters. And we'll bring up Alex Gordon, batting .292. Another solid year for Gordon. And he looks at strike one in the outer edge.
Gordon got off to a miserable start this year, and this was after the Kansas City Royals gave him a really nice, lucrative contract, and a lot of people felt like he was putting way too much pressure on himself.
Breaking ball missing outside.
Which is a natural tendency to do for a young player, and Gordon would still fall into that category of being a really young big league player.
1 ball and 1 strike on Gordon. And he fouls it straight back.
Verlander has thrown 7 total pitches. 4 of those have at least been clocked at 95 miles an hour.
Gordon this year has 49, count them, 49 doubles.
That leads the American League.
Leads baseball. He's trying to get something started here now in the first with 2 outs. Here's the 1-2. Lifted back out of play. Royals come in at 70 and 82. And they certainly will have a say in who wins the Central Division. The Tigers will see them quite a bit down the stretch. 4 here, 3 there. The 3 in KC closing out the regular season. And again the 1-2. And again fouled back out of play. Gordon's also had a big year in terms of defense. Led the league in assists last year with 20. Has 13 of those this year as well. And he shoots another one foul back out of play. Justin Verlander in search of his 16th win. 15 and 8 coming in. Luke Hochevar is taking the hill tonight for the Royals. Tigers have put up good numbers against him over the years. Again the 1-2. Swing and a miss struck him out. Gordon is out of there. 1-2-3 inning for JV. On our way to the bottom of the first. This 4-game series, Tigers coming to the plate in the bottom of the first inning. Austin Jackson will lead things off. The Tigers starting lineup is presented by Big Boy. Jackson is in center. Quentin Berry will get the call in left field tonight. Cabrera and Prince, as usual, 3 and 4. Delman is 5th, the DH. Dirks in right. Johnny Peralta, Alex Avila, Omar Infante rounding it out. Luke Hochevar is on the hill for KC, presented by Fox Toyota of Rochester Hills.
Hochevar's already lost 14 games this year and does not pitch very well here at Comerica Park. Overall, the ERA at 5.40, but he does have an impressive fastball. He'll get up to 94, 95. He's got a nice little breaking ball, curve, and slider variety, and a changeup to go along with that fastball.
And here is Jackson starting things off. First pitch is lined to right field, base hit. OJ starts it off with a solid single to right.
Tim Hortons defense reads like this for the Kansas City Royals. Gordon, Dyson, Francoeur in the outfield. Gordon and Francoeur, boy, they can really throw. They have a lot of assists. Hosmer is at first base. Giavatel at second. Escobar is at shortstop. Moustakis is at third. And the youngster, Salvador Perez, and I mean talented youngster behind the plate.
So Jackson reaches. Here is Quentin Berry batting in the 2 slot. 4 out of 12 on the homestand. He'll quickly draw Moustakis in at third base. And the runner bluffs and it's grounded foul. 0-1 on Berry. Quentin batting .272. Tigers have that speed element in the first and second spots in their lineup tonight.
It'd be nice to see Austin Jackson touch home plate here today. A lot of times when he does score a run, and when he scores that run early, the Tigers go ahead and win those games.
And the 0-1. Berry pops one up. Shallow center field. Dyson coming hard. He's going to dive and make the catch. Here's the throwback to first base. And they get a double play.
Jackson was in no man's land, and you can't really blame him. Dyson has a tremendous amount of speed in center field. Jackson went halfway, and then he was wondering whether this ball was going to be caught or not. He probably went a little too far. And then once Dyson made the catch, he dove for the ball, got up quickly, and threw a strike to Hosmer, who made a really nice pick on the other side. Look how quickly he gets up to his feet. That's slow motion there, but he'll give you another look at it.
Sparkling play by Dyson. And the double play leaves the bases empty now for Cabrera.
Last time we saw this Kansas City outfield, it was Dyson and Lorenzo Cain that were making spectacular plays real late in games that were pretty much the difference in the ball game.
Yeah, no doubt. Back in KC. There's a strike called on Miguel.
Well, Hochevar is facing Miguel Cabrera just the way that he would like, although it really doesn't matter. Cabrera has really had his way with Luke in Luke's big league career.
16 for 32 against him, and that is a .500 batting average. High towering drive to center. Wrong part of the ballpark, though. Dyson camps under it. And that is that for Detroit. 1 inning in the books. No score. Is brought to you by Comerica Bank. Strength and stability since 1849. Dodge. Visit Dodge.com or see your local dealer today. And by Kraft. Make something amazing. Back here at Comerica Park, where the Tigers and Royals are going at it here in Game 1 in this series. We head to the second inning, all bundled up tonight. It'll be Billy Butler to start things off against Justin Verlander, and there is one guy in this league that is not afraid of Justin Verlander. It's Billy Butler.
49 at bats. That is no small sampling.
Couple of home runs, and now Butler digs in. He'll be followed by Perez and Moustakas. Justin threw 11 pitches in the first, 10 strikes, and he missed inside 1-0.
Speaking of home runs, Billy Butler has a career high 27 big flies this year. He is usually a guy that's hitting 45 doubles a year, but this year he is hitting lots of homers.
The 1-0. Well, in the years we have seen him, we've always talked about his ceiling in terms of home runs, and you always felt he could reach this point.
Well, he got himself in really good shape in the offseason. He got his legs a lot stronger. He's one of those guys that's always used his legs, but because of the added strength in the offseason, those doubles are now carrying over the fences.
2 balls and 1 strike on Butler. Billy's previous high was 95 driven in. He did that last year, so he has reached 100 for the first time in his career. 101.
He's had a nice year. 312 batting average, 100 ribbies, 180 hits, and he's not getting any infield singles either.
Verlander missing inside, backed him out of there. 3-1. Justin career against these Royals is 14-2 overall. ERA is still good at 2.76, despite the fact that he gave up 8 to him last time in that start in KC. It's whistled back out of play. 3-2. Is there anything about the approach or skill set of Billy Butler that makes him such a tough matchup for Verlander?
Well, he's gifted, for one. He's got tremendous hand-eye coordination. He has a tremendous amount of swagger, and he uses his lower half very well. He always gets himself in a real good position to get great bat speed through the strike zone, just like Miguel Cabrera.
3-2 pitch is drilled to left field on a line. Barry will not get there. It's a base hit. So Billy Butler continues to swing it against Verlander.
Let's take a look at how Verlander went after Billy Butler. And we told you that Butler hitting 367 in his career against Verlander coming into play. So that's gone up a tick now in 50 at-bats. He tries to crowd him inside. He falls behind 3-1. And now Billy Butler, he knows he's going to get a fastball. And look at him turn on it. That's 96 miles an hour turned on by Billy Butler. And here's the balance that I'm talking about. Tremendous balance.
And that is the first Royals hit of the game. Salvador Perez, a big swing and a miss, 0-1. Well, Perez started the year on the disabled list after tearing up his knee in spring training before the year started. But since coming off the DL, hitting a solid 300 with 11 home runs. One of the bright young stars in the American League. Verlander has gotten ahead of him now, 0-2.
Ned Yost, their manager, who also managed the Milwaukee Brewers and spent a lot of time in an Atlanta Braves uniform working under Bobby Cox. He called Salvador Perez the best looking catching prospect he's ever seen.
I can imagine he's seen a prospect or two in his day. From behind the plate, Perez can do it all. Good two-way player. Behind in the count, 0-2. Verlander had a 1-2-3 first. And the 0-2. Popped him up. Prince calling for it. And he'll make the play. One gone. It's another ball in the air by the Royals hitters. This game tonight is available in high definition on Fox Sports Detroit HD. It is sponsored by Xfinity from Comcast. Here's Mike Moustakas. Batting .246. Moustakas has homered this year against the Tigers. And is hit 20 of them overall. Oh, 0-1.
You kids at home, take a listen to this. This ball goes up in the air. Count how many times Prince calls it. They teach you that way back in the league. He called it about 5 times.
The 0-1. Popped up foul. This will get back out of play. 0-2. And the reason for that, obviously, is you want to make sure your pitcher hears, because sometimes the crowds can be loud.
I'll take it one step further. You don't want Prince running into Verlander. That's for sure.
I didn't consider that aspect, but yes, that's true. You don't want Prince running into anyone. Just ask Avila.
That's right.
He will confirm that. 0-2. Fouled straight back. So Verlander again following the same pattern. Pitching in the mid-90s here early on.
He's filling up that strike zone as well. The majority of his pitches have been strikes. 23 total. 19 of those have hit the strike zone.
Well, it gives you an idea of how hard a guy like Verlander works in the offseason. As you mentioned, he really does a lot of his more difficult conditioning in the offseason. Here he is in his 32nd start of this year, throwing at that velocity. He's come out throwing strikes as well. Since
Verlander has been a major league player, I've been fortunate enough to go down to the Tigers fantasy camps every January. So they're about mid-January. They're in Lakeland, Florida, and of course that's where the Tigers hold their spring training. And Justin Verlander is out there just about every single day in the middle of January with a lot of the other players that have had injuries from the previous season, but he's out there throwing, he's out there running, he's out there preparing himself for spring training in February and then the long haul of the major league season. So this guy not only is very gifted, but he works extremely hard.
Doesn't really leave much of an offseason. It is popped up foul heading back toward the seats. Cabrera will not get there.
Trust me, he probably has a nice little tea time about 12 noon every day down there in Florida.
Oh, there's no doubt. A little pleasure with business. Here's the Mazda scouting report. And since 2010, Verlander has thrown 30 games in which he's gone 120 more pitches.
He's a beast.
Again, shows how all of that hard work makes a difference, especially late in the season. And Moustakas chased one out of the strike zone. Chin high, and he strikes out swinging.
In no way Moustakas can catch up to this fastball up at the top of the zone. Not at that velocity that Justin Verlander features. It's a four-seam fastball.
Here is Francoeur with 2 outs. Verlander now 2 strikeouts. Justin came in with 223 of them.
Verlander has not thrown a slider yet in the game. He has featured the changeup. He's also featured the curveball to go along with the mid-90s fastball. But usually he throws quite a few sliders to Francoeur.
One inside that time. Fastball 1-0. Francoeur 238. Pretty good series that they just completed against Cleveland. He was 5 for 11 in that series. And he missed high. 2-0 the count. Verlander, victories in his last 2, Oakland and Cleveland. Here's the 2-0. Whistled foul down the right field line. 2-1. Jeff Francoeur, who has been a good offensive player in his career, but this year he's being more known for his defense. He has 19 outfield assists.
Former Rookie of the Year in the National League for the Atlanta Braves.
Ahead in the count here, 2-1 as Verlander steps off. Butler had a leadoff single to start this frame, but he's still anchored at first. Swing and a miss. Royals are going after that pitch up in the zone at 95, and they've had no success so far.
Well, against a guy like Verlander that throws as hard as he does, you really don't have a lot of time to determine whether the ball is going to be down in the strike zone or not, you've got to get started so early. It's also one of the reasons why Francoeur, is choking up a little bit.
Little chopper hit back up the middle, and Fonte will simply cross over the bag for the out, force to end the inning. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left. On a list that he probably would rather not be on, but the highest career ERAs at Comerica Park, only Nick Blackburn is higher. Ubaldo Jimenez on that list as well, 7.68 in this yard. He was able to get through the first inning with no damage. Now Fielder will start things off here in the bottom of the second. Prince, and then Delman Young, and then Andy Dirks. Tigers got a hit in the first inning, but Berry flied into a double play. Here's a drive deep into right field. Oh, you can forget about this one. It is way gone. A mammoth home run for Prince Fielder.
Ned Yost, the manager of the Kansas City Royals, has seen Prince Fielder do this all too often. And Prince Fielder, when he broke into the major leagues with the Milwaukee Brewers, Ned Yost was his first big league skipper. Talk about lifting and separating. Are you kidding me? I see you, Prince. Whenever you see that bat flip, you know some damage has been done.
Waiting on the distance on that home run. But a no-doubter for Prince Fielder, 1-0 Tigers. Delman cuts and misses, 1 ball, 1 strike. That thing was on a tee for him, too.
Hochevar will give up quite a few of those. As a matter of fact, his last start against the Chicago White Sox, he gave up 3 homers in that game.
Here's the 1-1. Hochevar gave up 3 of them. They were all solo shots, but it was enough to beat Hochevar. The White Sox hit 3 solos and won it 3-2. Prince Fielder has just hit his 28th, a mammoth blast. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Delman Young.
For a guy that's as big and strong as Prince Fielder is, he has a lightning quick bat. And you don't usually associate real big, strong, physical guys like Prince with that kind of bat quickness. Yes, there's a lot of power, but not the quickness in the bat.
Here's the 2-2 to Young. And it's just off the plate, 3-2.
Look and listen. He got from point A to point B in a hurry.
Here's the 3-2 to Delman. High fly ball, shallow right field. Dyson, Francoeur, and Francoeur hauls it in. One gone.
What's funny about that homer that Prince just hit, I was asking the guys in the truck to give me a shot of the Kansas City Royals defensive alignment because they played that shift on Prince. And the last two teams we've seen here at Comerica Park, the Minnesota Twins and the A's, they weren't over shifting. And as soon as I said, give me a shot of it, that ball was traveling into the right field seat. They can't put anybody out there, though.
Here's Andy Dirks, batting .313. And Hochevar gets ahead 0-1. Seven hits on the homestand for Dirks. He has knocked in 31. Bender on the outside corner, 0-2. There's a ground ball in the hole. Diving stop. Moustakas not going to have a chance to get him, though. He has played a solid, if not spectacular, third base this year, but he had no chance there.
Usually a rule of thumb is anytime that you can cut the ball off and make a play, you do so, but that's usually on the infield grass. With the arm that Escobar has, it looks like he probably would have had a better play surrounding that ball and a better chance of throwing Dirks out at first base. Dirks may have beaten it, but Moustakas probably should have allowed that one to go to the shortstop.
So it's an infield hit for Dirks. Here's Johnny Peralta. Breaking ball bouncing in, 1-0. Peralta's got to get it going. He is 0 for his last 14, batting .242 now. He's had good numbers this year against the Royals, .333. And the 1-0. That's in for a strike. 1-1 on Johnny Peralta. Johnny's taken him deep 3 times. Hochevar, that is.
This is a time of year if you've not had a good year offensively, and Peralta has not had a good offensive year, you just kind of throw your numbers out the window and you look to the next 10 in trying to help your team get to where it needs to get to, and that's the postseason.
2 balls, 1 strike.
And nothing really you can do about the overall numbers that are going to end up on the back of your bubblegum card in 2012.
Runner goes. Dirks was on the move, had a nice jump, and that ball is grounded back into the dugout where we saw Prince scattering.
It's one of the things that Jim Leyland has done on occasion when he does have one of his players that are struggling offensively and he gets himself in a favorable count. He will simply take the guesswork out of it for the hitter. He will force them into swinging like he did Peralta there. That was a hit and run.
And 2-2 on Johnny Peralta. Ground ball left side, diving stoppage short by Escobar, and they'll get the force at second.
Well, he'll be doing that for the next 4 days. He's got tremendous range at the shortstop position. About 3-4 steps and a dive, and then look at the velocity that he gets on his throw from underneath to his second baseman Giovanella to get the force out. And it was accurate.
Two gone now. That'll bring up Alex Avila. And the numbers defensively on Escobar. Avila batting .246. Looks at ball 1. Alex just 5 at bats on the homestand, 1 for 5. Tigers taking the lead on the Fielder home run here in the bottom of the second. And a drive in the air to right field. That ball is hit well. Francoeur is on the run. Still going back. Can't get it. Up against the wall. Here comes Peralta rounding third. They'll send him home. And he scores. An RBI double for Alex Avila. 2-0 Detroit.
Alex Avila got himself in a fastball count. Fastball friendly count. It's a 90-mile-per-hour fastball at the bottom of the zone, and that classic pretty swing by the left-handed Alex Avila.
'45th RBI of the year for Avila. The Tigers plant a 2 spot on Hochevar. And they're still working as Infante steps in. High fly ball to center field. Dyson is on the run. He'll get back there to end the inning. So the Tigers grab 2, but it all started on one mighty swing. Prince goes deep, and I mean way back. Tigers baseball tonight presented by Bell Tire. Arby's. Try Arby's new hot turkey roasters. It's the greatest thing since sliced roast beef. And by AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. Back here at the ballpark, where the Tigers now have a 2-0 lead. 2 runs on 4 hits for Detroit. The Fielder homer, the RBI double by Avila. And a good start to this one here tonight. Verlander back to the hill facing Hosmer, Giavotella, and Dyson. Hosmer batting .237. Waves and misses 0-1. Verlander has gotten a lot of swings and misses early in this game.
Verlander now 6 of 8 in first pitch strikes against the Kansas City Royals.
The 0-1 pitch. Bouncing ball hit to the right side, and Infante will charge it. Hosmer is out. One gone here in the third. Back to the studio we go for a game break. Here's Ryan Field. All right, Ryan, thank you very much. Here it is 2-0 in favor of Detroit. First of 4 here in the Motor City between these two teams. There's a ground ball foul, third base side by Giavotella. This was supposed to be the Tigers' final off day of the regular season, but tonight's game is actually a makeup from a rainout earlier in the year, turning a 3-game series into a 4-game set. Giavotella batting .235, lost one down the left field line, foul. 0-2. Verlander struck out 1 in the first, 1 in the second. He has given up just the Billy Butler single. That's it. Now the 0-2. Got him. Strike 3. Giavotella is frozen.
He threw him a fastball, a changeup, and then he comes back with this outstanding breaking ball. Verlander has all his pitches working through 2 2/3 innings here today.
2 up, 2 down. Here is Gerard Dyson. 37 pitches for Verlander. 30 of them strikes. Attacking the strike zone tonight. Dyson acting like he wants to bunt. Ball 1. Flied out to left field his first time up. 28 steals keep him off the bases. And there's the ball high. You look at the top 2 hitters in this lineup for KC. Dyson and Escobar have combined to steal 59 between them. Keep those guys off the base paths and you will make your life a little bit easier.
It's the 3rd consecutive team that we have seen in this homestand that can run. It started with Oakland, and Minnesota had quite a few swipes themselves, and you talked about Kansas City and their aggressive style.
There's a 2-out single for Dyson.
Join us again tomorrow when the Tigers take on the Kansas City Royals. Coverage begins at 6:30 with Tigers Live on Fox Sports Detroit. That's Tigers baseball tomorrow at 6:30 right here on Fox Sports Detroit. Not many games left. They are starting to dwindle down here in 2012.
Final home games of the regular season. Tigers finish out on the road in Minnesota and also in KC. And Anibal Sanchez getting ready for his next start against the Royals, coming up tomorrow night against Bruce Chen. Dyson 28 steals. He's been caught 5 times. Ball low. 1-0. Well, here's what is remaining, including tonight. You see the Sox are taking on Cleveland. They have really struggled this year, but they've got a 4-game series against Tampa that's going to be interesting. They'll face some good pitching, including David Price in that series. Ooh, bad pickoff throw and a nice pick by Prince Fielder.
Verlander very thankful for this pick.
There goes the runner. Ball high. Throw down to second. And it's not in time.
Kind of gives you an idea of just how fast Dyson is. This is a pretty good ball to throw right here if you're the catcher. It's a fastball. It's up. Weight transfer via Vila, but by the time he gets the ball to Infante, Dyson sliding in safely.
Dyson stole a big base last Thursday when the White Sox were playing KC. It came in the 9th inning, and he eventually scored the game-winning run in walk-off style. And he's got himself his 29th bag of the year here tonight. And Escobar is ahead in the count 2-0, trying to drive him in. Swing and a miss. 2-1 on Alcides Escobar. Popped up back in the first. And that hit him. Oh, nope, fouled it off. Hit his bat. 2-2.
Escobar a little upset. Verlander hit him earlier this year. It was a fastball just like that. He got him in the elbow. And it was a fastball in the upper 90s.
And the 2-2. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. Verlander leaves the runner at second base. He strikes out Escobar. JV now with 4 punch-outs. Look forward to Miller time later in tonight's game. It is brought to you by Miller Lite. Tiger looks a little sleepy. Wake him up. Tigers have a 2-0 lead in this one as we go to the bottom of the third, and Hochevar back at the hill. Tigers at the top of the order. It's Austin Jackson and Quentin Berry and Miguel Cabrera. 2 runs, 4 hits for Detroit. No runs, 2 hits for KC. That sliced foul back out of play. 1 ball and 1 strike on AJ. Jackson had a single, was doubled up back in the first inning though on a fly ball. Here's the 1-1. Bender and a beauty, and it's 1-2. Hochevar goes 6'5", 213, born in Denver. He's 29 years old, just turned 29. And the 1-2. Missed it high. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The number 1 overall pick in the 2006 June draft. Ball inside, run it full now, 3-2. Quentin Berry waiting on deck, and then it will be Miguel Cabrera, the top 3 in Detroit's lineup here in the third. Shot in the air to right field, but it's playable for Francoeur, and 1 gone. Well, Cabrera going for the Triple Crown, and Shannon Hogan, let's bring you in. You talked earlier today with Al Kalon. He had some thoughts on the last guy to do it, Carl Yastrzemski.
That's right. He actually played against Yaz when he was in his playing days. He said that was one of the hardest players he's ever played against. He had such big things to say about him. I asked him, are there any comparisons between him and Miguel Cabrera? He said, absolutely not. They're a totally different body type. He was not that big of a guy. And I was wondering, you know, it's been 45 years. How come with all the great hitters that have been out there and playing the game, we haven't had another guy to do the Triple Crown? He said there's just something very special about Miguel Cabrera. It's really, really hard to do it. Jim Leland also weighed in on the Triple Crown today. He thinks Miguel Cabrera can definitely do it, and he thinks also the way the game has changed with the importance of relief pitching, that has also played a role in it being more and more difficult to complete the feat. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I would agree with that. And Jim was talking about the fact that in today's baseball, I mean, you're facing guys rather throw, you know, anywhere from 95 to 100 miles an hour out of the bullpen. Here's the 1-1, and is lifted in the air. Left center field. Dyson cruising over.
I thought Jim said it best, though. I mean, he also went on in that conversation in his pregame press meeting with the media. He said Cabrera's just different. And he is. There's nobody else in baseball like him.
And that's going to bring Cabrera to the plate. With 2 outs, nobody on here in the third. And Miguel looks at a strike, 0-1. Cabrera 13-game hitting streak in progress. The longest hitting streak that Miguel has had in his major league career happened just a couple of years ago, the 2010 season, when he strung together a 20-game hitting streak. The 1-1. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Well, since August 31st, he's been out of this world. And that's when the Tigers came back home after getting swept in Kansas City in a 3-game series. And they promptly swept the Chicago White Sox. His numbers are incredible. Here they are. His last 22 games. He is taking over the batting race. He is also taking over the RBI crown. And he also has 42 home runs. So major, major damage done by Miguel Cabrera in the month of September. And he won the Player of the Month award in August.
Ooh, he quick pitched that time. Cabrera was stepping out.
Well, if a guy was hitting 500 off of me, I'd try to figure out some stuff too.
Cabrera's laughing at it right now. But he missed with the pitch. It's 3-2. Look at this.
He will make you try to invent some stuff.
That is true. All Cabrera could do is look back at Bill Welke and say, what was that? That's fouled back out of play. Well, Cabrera leads in batting average, tied with Hamilton in home runs, and he leads Hamilton in RBIs. And I believe Hamilton is back in the lineup tonight for Texas.
Yeah, he missed a couple of games, I believe.
Here's the 3-2. High fly ball, left center field. Dyson coming in. Still coming in. And it's going to be a 1-2-3 inning for Hochevar. 3 in the books.
So far here today against the Kansas City Royals, he's thrown some real good changeups. Most of his fastballs have been 95 miles an hour and above. And he's also thrown a couple of really good sliders, although that one was backup variety to get Giovatello looking. The ace is very much looking like the ace here tonight.
Yes, he is. And as a result, the Tigers holding on to a 2-0 lead here as Verlander goes back to the mound in the fourth. He will face Alex Gordon. It'll be Gordon, then Butler, and then Perez. 3, 4, and 5 in the KC lineup. Gordon struck out in the first. That ended the inning. That's fouled back out of play. It was such an odd and, I don't know, borderline eerie sight to see the Royals score 8 against Verlander back on the 28th of August in 5 2/3 innings. And JV gave up 12 hits in that game as well. Struck out 6 through 120 pitches in a wild one at Kauffman Stadium. Ball outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. But tonight's performance much more closer to his numbers. As we gave you earlier, 14-2 lifetime against KC. Here's the 1-1. Driven high in the air, deep into left field. Berry is going back, track, wall, and it's going to carry out. An opposite field home run for Alex Gordon, his 12th of the year.
Verlander, as soon as he uncorked this 94-mile-per-hour fastball, he knew the location was not going to be where he wanted it. And as soon as Gordon made contact with it, and JV simply dropped his head.
Yep, there it is.
He gave it a courtesy peek, too.
Hoping that it would stay in the ballpark. Hoping that Berry might be able to climb the wall, but couldn't do it. First run of the game for KC. Here's Butler. Strike 1 to Billy.
And quite a bit of wind here blowing out toward left field once again tonight. But that one probably did not need much help. Gordon hit it pretty good.
17-mile-an-hour wind from right to left. 0-2 on Butler.
Good slider there. It's not often you see Billy Butler take swings like that. Well located slider, I may add.
And the 0-2. Butler cuts and misses, and he disposes of Billy on 3 pitches. 5 punch-outs now for JV. Salvador Perez has a pop-up. He's 0 for 1. In for strike 1.
Second consecutive at bat that Verlander has led Perez off with a breaking ball. Apparently that's how they're going to attack him here tonight, at least early in the count.
Oh, 2 now on Perez. Interesting prospect that you're looking at here, Perez, who's been locked up, by the way, for the next 5 years with a couple of options on top of that by the Royals. But he goes 6'3", 245. He's a big kid for that position. Verlander has him set up 0-2. And there's a ground ball to second. And Perez is out, 2 gone. By the way, you can vote for your Tigers McDonald's Player of the Game, presented by the Daily Double Burger at McDonald's for only $1.99. Using your cell phone, text Tigers followed by a space, then the player's uniform number to 37338, or if you'd like, vote online at foxsportsdetroit.com. Early leader, perhaps, Prince Fielder with his long home run.
You get a distance on that home run?
Still waiting. Bouncer back up the middle. Funny hop for Peralta. Down goes Moustakas. They'll settle for one run on the Gordon homer. Our AT&T trivia question: who holds the Major League record for most home runs in a season at home? Major League record for most home runs at home. Princeton went a long way in the second inning.
He sure did.
And he'll start things off here in the fourth. Strike one on Prince.
Did you guess at that one while you were in the truck today? That home run?
Well, no, because I saw the answer on the sheet before I could guess.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I wouldn't have gotten it, though. Not to say that it's very difficult to get. I just wouldn't have gotten it. 2 strikes to count. Do you have any guesses?
Well, one logical guess. Initials are BB.
That's a logical guess. Might be right, might be wrong. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Strike 3 call. So you're guessing Billy Butler then, right?
No. Barry Bonds.
No.
Hey, fans, the Tigers will host the Kansas City Royals this Thursday at 1:05. It's the last 1:05 matinee of the year. The first 10,000 fans 18 and over receive a Detroit Tigers 2012 team photo. Call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com.
Here is Delman Young. And a ball outside. That was the first strikeout for Hochevar tonight. Delman flied out to right field his only time up. Two and 0 the count. Brett Butler, was that your guess? Brett Butler? You said BB.
I did. There's a lot of BBs around, I guess.
The 2-0 is slapped in the air to center and hit well, but Dyson has a lot of room. And there are 2 gone. Bring up Andy Dirks.
I know Miguel has 28 of his 42 home runs hit right here.
He does.
At this ballpark, that's a lot.
That is a lot. He is leading the majors this year, and especially for this yard. It's pretty impressive.
40 homers, 42 homers, 40 doubles.
Dirks takes strike 1.
I mean, when you really just dissect all of his offensive numbers, it's just kind of ridiculous at what Miguel is doing this year.
You know, despite all that, I saw some numbers earlier today that the odds-on favorite is still Mike Trout.
That does not surprise me, though.
Well, I mean, I'm getting surprised. I understand the season he has had and why he is deserving, but Cabrera's just going off down the stretch. Dirks is going to be out via the strikeout. Hochevar fans a pair here in the fourth. Sports Detroit is brought to you by Bell Tire. Get the lowest tire price, period. Bell Tire. And by Toyota, brought to you by your Greater Detroit Toyota dealer. Back here in the Motor City on a crisp evening here at the ballpark. Clear as well. It's 2-1 in favor of Detroit. Each side with a home run in this one. Fielder has hit one out for the Tigers, and Gordon for KC. Bottom three coming up against Justin Verlander. It'll be Francoeur, Hosmer, Giavotella. Justin has struck out 5 so far in this game. Francoeur is 0 for 1, hitting into a force, ending the second. And a breaking ball drops in. 0-1 on Francoeur. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That'll make it 0-2. Fastball that time from JB.
Right on the black at 95.
And the 0-2 off the end of the bat foul. Verlander at home this year is 8-2 and an ERA of about 1.5, 1.60 in this ballpark. He's got Hosmer waiting on deck. Now Francoeur will step out. And the 0-2 pitch. Bouncing ball back up the middle. Peralta off his glove into center field, and it'll be a base hit for Jeff Francoeur. Leadoff man is on. Let's check back in with Shannon Hogan. Shannon.
All right, you guys, I'm getting yelled at by my friend Sue out here because I might have just jinxed it. Have you ever seen the pink K's? Can we throw these K's up, you guys? Have you ever seen these out in the bleachers? Well, it's Justin's K's. Sue, my friend over here, actually started it when somebody in front of you actually started it, and then you've been doing it for 3 years, and you feel like I just jinxed him because I wasn't even supposed to hold the K yet. Why do you guys do this? And you're always here for Justin, right?
Only for Justin.
And when did this start? How did it all come about, and why are they pink?
They're pink for breast cancer awareness. And Justin, who sits in front of us, started it 3 years ago with white ones, and then we just kept it going.
You guys, I think I made her a little bit mad, but I'm going to camp out. And hopefully for JV's next strikeout, I'll be holding the pink one up for real. But she doesn't like, she's very particular. You can't be moving. You have to be in the right order. So we're going to stay put and wait for the next strikeout.
All right, we look forward to it. Thanks, Shannon. That ball is sliced to center field, but it's going to be run down by Austin Jackson, and the runner retreats. they might want to show up during Max Scherzer starts as well.
Yeah, Max has racked up quite a few strikeouts this season.
Here's Giavotella.
Shannon will not have to stay out there very long. He might get a K right here at Giavotella.
Yeah, shouldn't take too long. He's already struck out 5 in this game. 2 runs, 4 hits for Detroit. 1 run, 4 hits for KC. And Giavotella lines it to right field. That's going to be a base hit down the line. Francoeur is on his way to third base, and he is in there standing up. And now the Royals have something going here with 1 out.
Well, one thing we knew, and when the Royals were coming here at the tail end of the season, we knew that they would play the Detroit Tigers very tough, as they always do down the stretch. It's a fastball, and Giavotella gets just enough of it to fight it off to right field. And, of course, that gets Francoeur over to third base.
Francoeur represents the tying run. Top of the order coming up. Dyson, who singled and stole a base back in the third. .270 batting average now for Dyson. And Verlander misses outside, 1-0. Justin gave up a run in the 4th on the leadoff home run by Alex Gordon, and now the Royals threatening again here in the 5th.
As fast as Dyson is, he has grounded into 5 double plays this year.
Really?
So if Verlander can keep that double play in order, and Dyson hit it right at one of the defenders, Verlander might be able to get out of this.
One ball, no strikes on Gerard Dyson, who's now hit safely in 14 of his last 17. He's got Francoeur and Giavotella on the bases. There's a strike call. And the throwback to Verlander. What happened there? JV all right?
Let's hope so.
He went sprawling to stop that ball. It may have hit the umpire's hand on the throw back to the mound. Oh my goodness. Yep, it sure did. It hit home plate umpire Bill Welke's hand. And Verlander went diving for it and tweaked something.
Something with his left shoulder.
You could see the umpires immediately called it a dead ball, or at least it appeared they did. Fortunately, it's the left shoulder, and JV says, I'm all right.
That's right.
Ooh, yeah, you can see him twist that shoulder a bit. Jammed it. Jim Leland, Kevin Rand say everything's all right. They'd be freaking out right now if it was his right shoulder, like the rest of us. But he's okay. Meanwhile, it's 1 ball, 1 strike. Ooh, good breaking ball, and Dyson gave up on it. A wincing smile as he walks out of the box.
Had it been a fastball, he probably would have bunted the ball. Because it was a breaking ball, he did not time it perfectly. Therefore, simply had to pull the bat back.
1-2 the count. Good pick up there by Alex Avila. 2-2. New baseball now for Verlander. Francoeur started the inning with a base hit. 1 out later, Giavotella dumped a single down the right field line to put runners at first and third. Escobar waiting on deck. Checked it. Strike 3 called. And Dyson is out of there. There's Shannon with a K.
You guys, I'm glad that he got a strikeout because she was starting to think that I was a jinx out here. And I asked her why they don't do it for Max.
Yeah.
She said the reason they don't do it for Max is they started it with Justin on the mound, and they don't want to jinx anybody. They're keeping things the same. Also, another tradition out here, chocolate cupcakes. Guess what? Guess where they're coming after here?
Up here in the booth?
Uh-huh.
Sweet.
I'm bringing them. They're going to be delicious. So you can thank Sue.
Don't forget the milk.
Okay, I'll grab the milk on my way.
2%.
Sprinkles on them?
Are there sprinkles on the cupcakes? No sprinkles.
That's
Just traditional.
We'll take them.
Okay.
Thank you. Escobar, the batter now with 2 outs. 0-1 the count on Alcides Escobar. Strikeout and a pop-up. 2-1 Tigers lead. Royals threatening now with 2 gone here in the 5th inning. Paul wants a cupcake too.
Escobar in that batter's box, as slender as he is, he can use cupcakes.
There's a ball down low. 1 ball, 1 strike. And Verlander now has just taken over the strikeout lead in the major leagues.
Yeah, Max didn't get many strikeouts yesterday.
229 for Verlander. And the 1-1. He couldn't hold up. Around he goes. 1-2 on Escobar.
That's one thing about Verlander. We've watched it for the last 3 years now. When there is a runner in scoring position on third base, less than 2 outs, he really gets busy, and that's when he brings out that strikeout pitch. He punched out Dyson, and now looking to punch out Escobar as well.
Here's the 1-2. And it's outside. Wouldn't go fishing. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Alcides Escobar. Gordon waiting on deck. He is responsible for their run, a homer against Verlander in the last inning. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. Escobar fans for the 2nd time tonight. 7 total for JV. Tigers baseball presented by Bell Tire. Here at the ballpark. Justin Verlander is in command of this one. Gave up the 1 run on the home run by Alex Gordon. That's about it. And he's rolled up 7 strikeouts now as Johnny Peralta leads it off in the home half of the 5th. Peralta, Vila, Infante facing Luke Hochevar. And the first pitch is low. 1 ball to no strikes. Now the 1-0 pitch. Line into left field. A base hit. And Dyson bobbles it. Johnny trying for 2. Here comes the throw, and he is going to be out.
That is the second assist already in the game by Dyson in center field.
And he's not even the guy with the good arm.
He's not. The guy's on the corners. He's got a lot of speed. He gets over there. He bobbles it momentarily. That's what Johnny thought he could get to second base. But how about that pick by Giovatello? Nice glove work by their second baseman.
So 1 out, base is empty. Here is Avila. Ball 1 to Alex, who doubled in a run back in the 2nd. Well, typically it is Gordon and Francoeur that are throwing guys out. They have recorded most of the assists, but Dyson chipping in with a couple tonight. And their outfield as a whole now has 46. They led the major leagues last year with 51, so they're about to go back to back.
It's been a long time since a major league team went back to back in assists from the outfield.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
Francoeur has been the best throwing outfielder in the major leagues since he burst onto the scene back in 2006 when he was playing for the Atlanta Braves.
The 1-2 sails outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the Bernstein Advantage scouting report on Jeff Francoeur. Get the Bernstein Advantage. We go to bat for you. 8th straight season with at least 10 assists. And since the start of the 05 campaign, he's had the most in Major League Baseball with 116. That's a lot of guys he's thrown out.
Soriano's second at 84, so he's got him by a pretty good margin.
3-2 on Avila. Hochevar gave up the 2 in the 2nd, but nothing since. And he missed outside. Ball 4. Avila is out for the 2nd time. First walk of the game for Hochevar. And that'll bring up Infante. Omar fly to center field, ending the 2nd inning. And he cues this one into right field, a base hit.
Stay there, Alex.
Avila will hit the bag at 2nd and stop right there with Francoeur daring him.
It's a fastball up. Omar Infante gets his hands on top of it and hits it right between 1st and 2nd.
It's going to bring up Jackson now with only 1 out.
Well, if you're Gene Lamont right now, you have to be thinking anything hit hard at Gordon in left and Francoeur in right with Avila running from 2nd base. You have to be sure, absolutely certain, that he could score with the arm strength of those 2 corner outfielders.
Bouncing ball, first base side. It's going to get through, base hit. Avila coming around 3rd. He'll score. Infante will be held at 3rd base. The throw gets away. And Infante will come in to score. Throw to 3rd, and Jackson is out there. But the Tigers get 2 more runs in.
Seeing eye single here by Jackson. He was tardy on the fastball. Hosmer well off the line at first. Couldn't get there. Francoeur, the right fielder with a very strong arm. He comes up, throws to second base. Really nobody there, although Escobar couldn't pick it. But there was Gordon, the left fielder, who was able to get it after it got past the shortstop, and he threw Jackson out at third base.
4-1 ball game.
3 outfield assists already by the KC Royals here tonight.
Here's the 1-0 to Barry. Ball high. So only 1 RBI in that play. The error by the right fielder allowed the second run to score, and they've ruled it a double. Here's the 2-0. Quentin looks at a strike. That's in there. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And the 2-2 pitch. Barry takes just off the plate, 3-2. So to recap, it's a double, it's an RBI, it's an E9, and the putout went 7-5. That completes that play. Cabrera waiting on deck. Let's see if Barry can get on for him. Quentin has hit the ball in the air twice to the center fielder Dyson. He's 0 for 2. Swing and a miss, and Ochever strikes him out to end the inning. However, the Tigers get 2 more. Home run to right field, a solo shot to make it 1-0. Then with 2 outs, Avila goes to the wall in right center to drive in another run. 2-0 Detroit.
Alex Gordon got the Kansas City Royals on the board in the 4th. It was a 94-mile-per-hour heater. He took the opposite way, and then the Tigers, they countered in the 5th inning with a couple of runs here. Jackson with a double down the right field line. Francoeur came up. He threw wildly to second base, but there was Gordon to pick the ball in the outfield to throw Jackson out at third base, but not before Avila and Fontes both scored.
And Verlander's ratio has been really good. 57 strikes, 16 balls, 73 total pitches. And he will face Alex Gordon here in the 6th inning. Gordon, Butler, and Perez, 3, 4, and 5 in the KC lineup. 4 runs, 7 hits for the Tigers. A run on 5 hits for KC. First pitch is in for strike 1. Solo shot the other way for Gordon, his 12th of the year, 68th RBI. That came an inning ago. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Ground ball to the shortstop. Peralta will backhand it. His throw is in time, and one gone here in the 6th. Game break time. Back to the studio with Ryan Field. Thanks, Ryan. Well, apparently we can't fall asleep on Encarnacion. 41 home runs. One behind Hamilton and Cabrera. Butler fouls it off.
We can't really sleep on Encarnacion as far as the comeback player of the year is concerned this year. We've been talking about Rios and Dunn quite a bit in Chicago, but Encarnacion has had a solid season.
Kendrys Morales as well in that conversation. Here's the 0-1. Swing and a miss. 0-2 on Butler. Butler struck out against JV back in the 4th. He singled against him in the 2nd.
When he struck him out in the 4th, he struck him out on 3 pitches. And he's looking to do the exact same thing here.
Bouncing in, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
And Billy Butler came into play today with really good numbers in his career against Verlander. A .367 career batting average with 49 at bats.
Verlander will bring home the 1-2. And it's slapped back out of play. .79 now for JV. He's been able to foul off 20 pitches in this game, which is something that most teams do quite a bit against Verlander. Haven't been able to square him up all that often. And again the 1-2. And again he fouls it off.
Told you that Billy Butler's first time up today, he has 27 homers, but there was a time where he was hitting a ton of doubles. As a matter of fact, before their 24th birthday, guys with 50 doubles and 20 big flies. Greenberg, Rodriguez, Pujols, Cabrera, and Billy Butler. Impressive company there.
And another foul. Well, Butler's 27 homers now is the most since Carlos Beltran hit that many back in 2002 for the Royals. So it's not been a team over the years that has really been built around power.
Finally made his first All-Star team this year.
There's a ground ball, base hit. So Butler continues to torment Verlander, his 2nd hit tonight. Just couldn't quite put him away. 1 on, 1 out. It's going to bring up Salvador Perez. Including tonight, 2 more singles for Butler against JV. He's now batting .392. .392 against Justin Verlander. So while most guys come to the ballpark on nights where Verlander is opposing them and thinking, well, it's going to be a long night, Butler is thinking, bring it on. And there's been no problem at all. Now the 1-0. Fouled straight back. 1 ball, 1 strike on Salvador Perez. For 2 in this ball game.
Perez has gotten a steady diet of breaking balls from Justin Verlander tonight.
Swing and a miss.
Piece of cheese there at 96. Xfinity is telling us that Verlander has been all the way up to 100 miles an hour. That happened last half inning. And when he had a runner on 3rd, less than 2 outs.
Shoot that one foul. 1-2 the count stays. Verlander this year has 6 complete games. That's tops in the American League. You've got to go back a ways for a Tigers pitcher to throw that many complete games in a season, back to the 0-1 campaign when the knuckleballer Steve Sparks did it. That shot back up the middle into center, and Perez has a base hit. 2 on now with 1 out. It's going to bring up Mike Moustakas. Each team now with 7 hits. For 2 for Moustakas. Ground out, strikeout. And the Royals third baseman takes a ball outside. And both Moustakas and Hosmer got to the big leagues with a whole lot of fanfare. Hosmer had a great rookie season last year, but has tailed off this year. Moustakas been a little bit better. 20 homers, 71 RBIs. The 1-0. Swing and a miss. 1-1. Both still have anchoring the corner infield positions for KC. And the 1-1. Big swing there by Moustakas.
Verlander has thrown 90 pitches already in the game, and 32 of the 90 have been really good fastballs, 95 miles an hour and above. He's touched 100, as a matter of fact, in the game.
And the glove for strike 3. Moustakas is disposed of. Verlander 8 strikeouts. The K Club working overtime tonight.
He is just overpowered. Moustakas here tonight.
Here's Francoeur. Single and a force out. Verlander trying to strand a couple of Royals. Swing and a miss. Royals have left 4 on base in this game. Tigers have stranded just 1.
Francoeur was sitting on the on-deck circle, and he watched Verlander throw fastball after fastball to Moustakas, 98 miles an hour. Then he comes back and throws back-to-back breaking balls to Francoeur.
Now he's got him set up 0-2 with 2 outs. High pop-up. Shallow left field. Quentin Berry coming in. And the threat is over. No runs, 2 hits, 2 left. Bottom of the 6th coming up. games in a season at home. It may be Miguel Cabrera, but it's not. It's Hank Greenberg, who hit 39 back in 1938 at home for the Tigers. And the answer to tonight's trivia question. Tigers on top in this one 4-1 as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning here at the ballpark. Luke Hochevar facing Cabrera, Fielder, and Young. And he pulls this one into left field. Base hit. First hit of the night for Miguel, stretching his hitting streak to 14 straight.
We brought this up earlier. You said that the odds are that a lot of people still believe that Mike Trout will win the most valuable player award in the American League, and the players don't think so. And players on both teams of a lot of the squads we have seen recently, they are giving the most valuable player award to Miguel Cabrera, but they don't vote for that award.
A little hitting lesson down there at first base with Hosmer. Here's Prince Fielder.
He better listen.
And that's pulled into right field. Frank Coeur coming over. And Cabrera scampers back, one gone. That'll bring up Delman Young. A couple of fly balls tonight for Delman. A little bit outside, 1 ball, no strikes on Young. Tigers have 8 hits tonight, 7 for the Royals, and Detroit leading at 4-1. Delman skies one foul back toward the seats. 1 ball and 1 strike. He's going to send Perez out to the mound to have a chat with Hochevar. Hochevar gave up the Fielder homer and the Avila RBI double in the second. And 2 more runs in the 5th, 1 scoring on an error. Here's the 1-1. Fouled off, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Anybody on this list surprise you, buddy? Players under 28 years old with the most hits in the majors?
Yeah, the guy that's second.
Delman surprises you?
He surprised me a little bit. I didn't think he had that many knocks. Zimmerman, kind of surprising as well. 1,100 hits. Here's the 1-2. He'll shoot that one to right field. It's going to drop. Base hit. Cabrera's on his way to third, and he's in there standing up. Runners at first and third.
Add another one to that list. Two strikes. Delman looked like he cut down on his swing just a little bit, trying to put the ball in play. And he found the fairway in right field. As soon as that ball got into right field, Cabrera knew he could get over to third base. Big at bat here for Andy Dirks. Runner on third, less than 2 outs. The way Kansas City plays the Tigers, he must score Miguel Cabrera.
Strikeout, an infield hit for Dirks. Ball 1 missing outside.
Ned Yost has his middle infielders playing at depth. If the ball's hit sharply at one of those two, they may come home to get Cabrera.
Here's the 1-0. Rolled foul, 1 ball and 1 strike on Dirks. $75 now for Hochevar.
It's not that many.
Dirks is now 4 for 8 in his career against Hochevar. That's off the plate. 2 balls, 1 strike. In the air, center field. This will get the job done. Dyson running back there. Runner will tag and score from third. Sac fly, RBI. Well, we have a chance. To the studio we go. Here's Ryan Field. All right, Ryan, thanks very much. Well, the Subway Sub Prize on the line is the American League Central Division standings, with the Tigers trailing Chicago by 1. And we're hoping for a Cleveland win this evening. Tigers right now leading at 5-1 here. And Peralta sprays that one foul. 0-1. So Dirks gets it done, his 32nd RBI. Tigers now have 2 in the second, 2 in the fifth, and 1 here in the sixth. Johnny has a single. Also scored a run. Missed it outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Peralta broke it 0 for 15 with his single back in the fifth.
He should have 2 hits today. Escobar, the shortstop, made a real nice play on Johnny his first time up.
And bends inside. 2 balls, 1 strike. Action in the bullpen. Adcock warming up for KC. Fouled off the mask of Perez. Tigers just adding on to what they've done recently against Hochevar. Coming into this start, he had given up 20 runs in over 14 innings of work. Covering a couple of starts, so the Tigers have planted 5 more on him here with 9 hits. Line drive to right. Francoeur runs it down. Tigers get a run, and they played 6 here at the ballpark, leading 5-1.
On this day in 1974, a very big moment for Hall of Famer Al Kaline. I asked him about it earlier today, and he didn't quite remember.
1974. No, I don't.
You hit your 3,000th hit.
Oh, did I?
Yeah,
well,
it was on this day.
I don't worry. I worry about what I'm going to do if I'm going to do something tomorrow. I don't worry about way back then. I just hope I wake up and do something tomorrow.
Yo, always get great stuff from Al Kaline. He went on to say he did get his 3,000th hit in Baltimore. He was a little disappointed he didn't get it in Detroit because he wanted to do it in front of the fans in Detroit. But Baltimore is his hometown. And how about this story, Mario and Rod? Dave McNally called him in August of that year and said, you know what, Al, I had a dream that you got your 3,000th hit off of me. Guess what? His 3,000th hit was off Dave McNally. Al says he wasn't that surprised because he said he hit off him pretty well most of the time, but that's kind of spooky. That's a little bit weird, I have to say.
It is a little bit weird, but it's one of the great stories in baseball history, and Mr. Kaline getting 3,000 on this day back in '74. Thanks, Shannon. And it's always good to see Mr. Tiger hanging around the ballpark, as he does every night. There's a nice play by Prince, who throws him out. Hosmer is out of there. Well, speaking of Mr. Kaline, on cue, our Farmers Insurance report card. This day in Tigers history, Kaline gets number 3,000 in his hometown of Baltimore against Dave McNally. You can barely see it, but it's going to get through. It's a hit. And the one thing I take away from this footage is that television graphics have come a long way since 1974.
No such thing as crystal clear high definition here, buddy.
Did not exist. 3,000 hits. What an accomplishment. And of course, Al has a statue here, number 6, out in left center field. One gone here in the 7th inning, and Johnny Giavotella will stand in with the bases empty. There's a strike called on Giavotella.
Verlander has thrown a total of 96 pitches in the game, and most of them have hit the strike zone. He's only missed the strike zone with 20 pitches so far here today against the Royals.
Dominating workmanlike effort. 8 strikeouts for Justin. Here's the 0-1. Bending high and inside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
With all these games remaining being so important, and do you find it interesting at all that there is absolutely no talk whatsoever about Verlander making any starts whatsoever on 3 days rest?
I do, now that you mention it. Yeah, nobody has even spoken a word about that. I think the way the Tigers have it planned, Jim Leland says everything's mapped out now. Unfortunately, Scherzer appears to be okay, but Verlander would be ready for either game 1 of a game 163 or game 1 of the ALDS. And that's the way the Tigers obviously mapped this one out. A lot had to do with whether or not Scherzer would foil those plans with his recent fatigue in his arm, but everything seems to be back on pace. But you're right. I mean, a lot of teams have done that in past history, haven't they?
You got a guy like this, and I know Jim Leland says he never ever wants anybody to get hurt on his watch, but this guy's a horse, and if it came right down to it and he was healthy and he wanted to go on 3 days rest, I don't see why they wouldn't give him the ball.
He has only thrown 22 out of the strike zone in this start, and we are in the 7th inning. And he has a 5-1 lead. I think back to one of the prime examples is when Milwaukee got CC Sabathia a couple of years back. They ran him out a lot toward the stretch.
About 4 starts that last month of the season were on 3 days rest. And I guess the flip side of that is once he did get to the postseason that year with Milwaukee, he wasn't very effective.
Two and two. Giavotella single and a strikeout. Chopper to the shortstop, right at Johnny Peralta. Giavotella's out of there, 2 gone.
Don't forget, you can join us again tomorrow when the Tigers take on the Kansas City Royals. Coverage begins at 6:30 with Tigers Live on Fox Sports Detroit. That's Tigers baseball. Tomorrow at 6:30 right here on Fox Sports Detroit.
Anibal Sanchez will go against Bruce Chen in that one. Two outs here is Gerard Dyson. Royals have only 1 run. That came back in the 4th. There's a high fly ball to center. Jackson going back. And Verlander will 1-2-3 7th inning. It's time to stretch. Back here at the ballpark, Tigers leading this one comfortably tonight as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning, and you can thank Justin Verlander, another outstanding outing tonight for Detroit.
Well, Justin Verlander, we talked about a start he had against Kansas City in Kansas City where they scored 8 runs against him, and it was so un-JV-like that he came out today and he was really getting after it early.
How about Prince Fielder's home run early on? Kind of gave the Tigers a little bit of a spark, and they built a lead.
Well, he got himself a fastball that was kind of right down the middle, and he kind of lifted and separated, and anytime you see that bat flip, when Prince Fielder hits the baseball, you know he's about ready to circle the pillows in home run fashion.
Something good has just happened. Here is Avila as we head to the bottom of the 7th, and Alex looks at a strike. Avila 1 for 1. And a double to drive it run, also walked and scored. 249 average for Avila. Hochevar hasn't thrown too many pitches tonight. His pitch count's been in good shape. That's why he's still out there in the 7th.
The Tigers have made good use of the 9 hits that they've gotten tonight against Hochevar.
Fouled back out of play. Yeah, they have 5 runs on 9 hits. They've stranded only 2. One and 2 on Avila, and Fonte and then Jackson to follow here in the 7th inning. And it missed outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Got him in the outside corner. Avila took 1 too many. Strike out for Hochevar.
All right, you guys. It's cupcake time.
What, are you kidding
me? Sue, she wanted you to have these. That's from Sue, and I have 2 things for you. Anybody that watched the My Favorite Things broadcast knows phone cases. Now, Rod, I know you wanted the pink one.
Absolutely.
But Mario, I didn't want you to feel left out. You both have phone. You know, this has a nice little like paisley color to
Seriously?
it. Yeah.
Seriously, paisley?
I mean,
do I look like that?
It kind of goes with your tie.
But I'm not
right?
a paisley guy.
This is like got some orange in it. We're just spicing up the life a little bit here.
Well, you're 1 for 2. Thanks for the cupcakes,
come
please.
on.
You can rock that.
Enjoy the cupcakes. That's from Sue out in JV's case.
All right, yeah.
Have a good night, you guys.
Thank you.
And thank you, Sue.
Shannon's always thinking of us.
She always brings us some groceries.
Yes, she does. Here's a bouncer back up the middle. Couple of steps to his left, Escobar. Infante's out of there. Let's see. There's 4 cupcakes here, Rod. 2 for me, 2 for you.
You didn't get your sprinkles.
I didn't get my sprinkles, but I'm not going to be picky. I will accept the gift. Here's Jackson. Why would she give me a Paisley foam cover?
Trying to get you out your comfort zone.
That's true. Here's Jackson. Ball one missing outside to Austin.
You have some Paisley ties, don't you?
I do. Yeah, I've got a couple. I might have to bust one out tomorrow to match my phone case now. Although I don't have them in pink and aqua. There's a strike called. 1-1 to count. Jackson doubled in a run back in the 5th inning.
Does she want these back?
What are you going to sell them on eBay or something? I think they're just props. I think she wants them back. 2-1. Jackson with 2 outs here in the 7th. Tigers ahead 5-1. David Lowe, by the way, is the new center fielder for KC, replacing Gerard Dyson. The chopper going to be a tough play. And a quick throw is going to be late. Hochaver really had 0 chance on that play.
And really no play here for Moustakas, and once Hochaver got it, he was not going to get Jackson. Jackson way too much speed. Jackson and the Tigers don't get many infield singles, just 108, which is the fewest in the American League. But take a look at the Kansas City Royals. They have 146 infield singles.
Burks had one earlier tonight as well. That was back in the 2nd. So it's a 2-out base runner.
It's one of the things that Ned Yost did in 2011. That was his first year, full year as a manager in Kansas City. When they went to surprise Arizona, they really concentrated on base running, stealing bases, going first to third, because they don't have a lot of power. And that was before guys like Moustakas, and that was before guys like Hosmer really were everyday players in the major league. So he felt like if they were going to score runs, they had to be aggressive on the base paths.
Quentin Berry is 0 for 3 in this one. And he sends a ground ball slowly back up the middle. Escobar will take it himself. Force out. That'll end the inning. 7 in the books here at the ballpark. Tonight, Tigers on top of KC 5-1. Prince Fielder's 28th home run this season was a solo shot to right field. Cabrera now a 14-game hitting streak and his average at .331, and Verlander has done the rest. Well, Prince providing the power and Verlander providing some power as well on the hill. And JV here in the 8th inning will face Escobar, Gordon, and Butler.
The January Play Baseball. You can play baseball with Tigers legends at a fantasy baseball camp in Florida. This year's camp features the 45th reunion of the 1968 World Series champions. Call 313-471-2550 or visit Tigers.com for details.
There was some action in the Detroit bullpen. Joaquin Benoit is heating up.
Joaquin threw 2 innings yesterday, and Jim Leland said he was not sure whether he would use Joaquin today.
Who do you say the 2 guys that were out? It was
Villarreal and
Albuquerque.
Amazing Al.
Yeah. 1 ball, no strikes. And Alcides Escobar.
But Benoit was very efficient in the 2 innings that he pitched last night against the Minnesota Twins. Only 28 pitches.
The 1-0 is shot down the left field line. That looks like trouble. And it's going to get to the wall. The 3:45 marker down the line. It's a leadoff 2-base hit for Escobar.
And most of the fastballs that Verlander has thrown today have been 95 miles an hour and above. That one just 91, and it allowed Escobar to get out in front of it and hit it down into that left field corner.
30th double of the year for Alcides Escobar. And the Royals now have their 8th hit. Royals haven't had a player to go 30 doubles, 30 steals in a season since Beltran back in 2002, and now Escobar has done that. Gordon hit a solo homer. That came way back in the 4th, and it's right now their only run. One ball, one strike.
Good change piece here from Verlander. You can see the grip in the glove. And what sells that pitch is the same exact arm speed that he shows you when he throws you the fastball.
Bouncing in and away from Avila, but he's able to stop it. 2 balls, 1 strike. Escobar has led off the 8th inning here with a 2-base hit for KC. Gordon's home run back in the 4th was his 12th of the year. And the 2-1. Popped up foul, heading back to the seats. Cabrera's going to run out of room. About halfway up. 2 balls, 2 strikes to count. There's Billy Butler waiting on deck. Verlander tonight 8 strikeouts. Driven to center field and hit pretty well. Jackson has a beat on it. The runner will tag and make it to third base standing up.
.25 balls have missed the strike zone that Verlander has thrown of the 110.
It's amazing. A really solid ratio tonight for Verlander. And Jeff Jones in contact with the bullpen, where Benoit has been warming up. 1 out runner at third. Here is Billy Butler. Rolls it foul. 2 more hits tonight for Butler against Verlander. He's 2 for 3.
if Verlander able to get out of this 8th inning and does not give up anything, and Benoit does not have to get used, and Jim will go to Valverde to get him in the game after what happened in last night's game.
Bouncing ball back up the middle. That's into center field. It's another hit for Butler.
He just has his number.
His 3rd of the night. That scores Escobar from third base, and it makes it 5-2. 3 for 4 tonight for Billy Butler. Now the numbers continue to rise. 396. It's been amazing. Royals get one back. 3-run game now. Still only 1 out of the inning. Here is Salvador Perez. Perez picked up a base hit back in the 6th. Average is level at 300. 11 home runs. And a ground ball to short. That should be 2. 6-4-3. Double play ends the inning. Royals 7 for 1. Bottom of the 8th coming up. Fan poll question of the game. Pretty simple. We're talking about Al Kaline reaching 3,000 hits in his career. Do you think Miguel Cabrera will reach that milestone? Is it A, yes, or B, no? Text ACE, then a space, then A or B to 37338. And the MVP chance. Here they come again as Cabrera leads it off.
He hears that every night here at Comerica Park.
Cabrera in this ball game is 1 for 3, singled, scored a run in the 6th, and Miguel's hitting streak now at 14 straight. Luke Hochevar is still out there, trailing 5-2, and a breaking ball strike, 0-1. Cabrera, then Fielder, then Young. Here's the 0-1. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike.
And Royals in the outfield are bunching Cabrera in the right center field. That's because a lot of the times that's exactly where he will hit the baseball. There's a huge gap in left center field. But usually he'll take a breaking ball in that direction.
Grounded foul. Well, through 1,500 games in each of their careers, here's a little comparison between Al Kaline and Miguel Cabrera. 1,739 hits for Mr. Kaline, 1,791 for Cabrera. Here's the 1-2. Grounded foul, third base side. That stretch over the first 1,502 games in each of their careers. Fielder and Young to follow. Hochevar's 1-2. Ball high, 2 balls, 2 strikes. What's going on here with the in-game box score? The Tigers have spread around the offense pretty well. They had 10 hits tonight. Prince has gone deep, and Q the only man without a hit. Here's the 2-2. Got him, strike 3. Hochevar with a bender on the inside part of the plate.
It's a nasty pitch right here by Hochevar. It's a breaking ball that just comes straight off the table. Miguel knew it was strike 3 as soon as it landed softly in Salvador Perez's glove, their catcher.
Hochevar now with 5 punch-outs. Fielder's home run back in the second was number 28 on the season. And he pulls one right by the shift into right field. Chiavatella was out there in short right, and he hit it by him.
Here's that shift on Fielder. You can see the shortstop on second base side of second base, and that's the second laser that Prince has hit in the game today.
Going to bring up Delman Young. Delman sends a ground ball into center field. That's a base hit. Back-to-back singles here in the 8th inning. Tigers leading by 3, looking for more.
Only Josh Hamilton in the American League loves to swing at the first pitch as often as Delman Young does. And a lot of times Delman's successful at getting base hits when he swings at that first pitch.
So that's going to be it for Hochevar, who's crossed the 100 threshold. And Adcock coming in from the KC Pen in our wall-side windows pitching change. We will step aside. 5-2 Detroit.
Talk a lot about the Kansas City Royals and their need for some guys to step up in that rotation next year, but they're starting to build a pretty good bullpen. They are 5th in the American League as far as ERA is concerned, and they have a lot of guys out there with a lot of youth, but they are talented. They've got some hard throwers in that bullpen.
Now Adcock will go to work here after back-to-back singles by Fielder and Young. Tigers trying to build on a 3-run lead here. We're in the bottom of the 8th. Andy Dirks, sac fly, infield hit. And he looks at ball 1. Dirks now 32 RBIs. Takes a ball outside. 2-0 the count. Adcock is 24 years old out of Vine Grove, Kentucky. And the 2-0. That'll go. Adcock was recently recalled. His last major league outing was against the Tigers back in July. And his numbers in that game, he went 4 1/3. Four and a third in relief in that game. Here's the 2-1. 3-1 on Dirks. Well, Valverde is still warming up, but he's also been joined now by Phil Coke. So Valverde, Coke. Three-one pitch, and he swings, loops one to left center field, base hit. Here comes Fielder rounding third. He'll score. It's an RBI single for Andy Dirks. Second RBI of the night.
Andy Dirks not over swinging on the 3-1 pitch, just simply putting it in play. It was at the bottom of the zone. He went down to get it and flipped it over the shortstop's head. And Prince Fielder, as soon as the ball was put in play, he knew it was going to be a base hit and was able to score with relative ease.
(6-2). The Tigers have the lead. And Danny Worth now has come on a pinch run at second base. Dirks has his second RBI of the night. 4-run spread now for Detroit. Strike one call. Johnny Peralta 1 for 3 runs scored this evening. Keeping track of that score in Chicago. We're in the bottom of the 5th inning. The White Sox offense has really struggled. They have only 3 hits, and Cleveland continues to lead that one 1-0.
Their pitching staff was pretty good. On the 9-day road trip they just came off of, their staff's ERA was under 3. But their offense did not do anything.
Little chopper left side of the infield. Moustakas charging. He made the tag. Throw to first. Got him. And a double play. So Danny Worth is tagged out. Moustakas throws on to complete the twin killing. And the Tigers will settle for 1 run. We're on our way to the 9th. It was an outstanding night for Justin Verlander, who goes 8 tonight. He scatters 9 hits and a couple of runs, didn't walk anybody, and punched out 8 Royals tonight and gave his team exactly what they needed.
Last time Justin Verlander saw the Kansas City Royals, they got 12 hits off of him, and they scored 8 runs against the Tigers ace. And here's our Bell Tire pitch by pitch. Justin Verlander with the 8 strikeouts. And the first pitch of the game to Dyson was 94, and then he threw another pitch at 95. And he had everything working today, whether it was the mid-90s fastball, the curveball, the changeup, and quite a few sliders to some of these right-handed batters. Justin Verlander was simply on point here tonight.
So with Verlander out of the game, Jose Valverde will check in a 6-2 ball game.
Well, most managers want to get their closers or their relievers right back out there that very next day when they've had a difficult evening. And Valverde had a difficult evening last night, taking the loss in the second game of that doubleheader.
He'll face Mike Moustakas to lead it off here in the ninth. On a night where the Tigers offense has put up 13 hits. And the first pitch of the night is blown away 1-0. Moustakas 0 for 3, fanned in his last at bat. That was the 8th and final strikeout that Verlander posted tonight. Now the 1-0. It's a strike called on the outer edge. Two balls, 1 strike. It'll get back into the seats. Cabrera is going to run out of room on this one. 2-2 on Moustakas. He has faced Valverde 6 times in his career, 1 for 6 against him. Also has a strikeout. Not a save situation for Jose, but he has 31 this year, which is good for 6th in the American League. Driven in the air to center, and Austin Jackson backs up a couple steps. 1 gone.
You know the drill by now. As soon as the game ends, our coverage will continue with Tigers Live. You will hear from the manager, Jim Leland, and the players. Plus, we'll break down the game and show you all the highlights. Tigers Live immediately after the game here on Fox Sports Detroit. I believe Ryan Field and Craig Monroe are standing by.
Here's Jeff Francoeur. Single for 3 for Francoeur. Ball inside.
Craig Monroe and Ryan Field were hanging out in the Coliseum studio yesterday, and they got swept in a doubleheader.
Well, they're here to redeem themselves. You can make the argument that we got swept too, Rod. 1-0 on Francoeur. Ball inside.
I was listening to Tigers Live before the game today, and Simo, he shaved off his goatee. They were trying to change it up in the studio today.
Were they doing all that they could do?
Yeah, they were.
Switch up their luck.
So far, so good.
Superstitions. Two 2-0 on Francoeur. And that's right down the middle. 2-1. Francoeur had a base hit to lead things off in the 5th inning. Royals at that time had runners at first and third, trailing by a run, but Verlander then struck out Dyson, struck out Escobar. The threat was over, and really that's as close as the Royals had been in this game. And the 2-1. Tipped into the glove. 2-2 on Frank Coor. Fouled away. Two and two. The count stays on Frank Coor. Single fly ball and a ground out in this game tonight. It was a game in which the Tigers led 2-0, then 2-1. And then Detroit poured it on with 2 in the 5th and 1 in the 6th. They lead 6-2. And this is the makeup game of a rainout earlier this year. 3 more to go in this series. And a swing and a miss. See you later. Frank Coor is out of there. 2 gone.
Lots of fastballs, heavy dose of fastballs by Valverde too. And then Frank Coor, the last one he couldn't catch up to.
One more out to get for Valverde. Eric Hosmer stands in. 31,000 plus on their feet right now. Hosmer takes ball 1. Jeff Jones, Jim Leland have to be ecstatic at the start that Verlander gave him tonight. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Tigers, by the way, are 1 out away from moving Verlander's lifetime record against the Royals to 15-2. One ball, 1 strike on Hosmer. And the 1-1 fouled away. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Hosmer. Update from Chicago. The White Sox have tied it up now as they go to the top of the 6th. 1-1.
They'll be tracking the remainder of that game on Tigers Live from the Paul Sands Studios and in extra innings as well.
1 strike to get for Valverde. Off the plate. Hosmer thought about going fishing, but he held back.
About another week, he'll be going fishing for real, though.
How do you know he's a fisherman?
And he's from Florida.
Yeah, that's true. Could be a golfer, though. 2-2. Swing and a miss, struck him out. Valverde nails this one shut.
Real nice outing tonight by Papa Grande after what happened last night.
And so, as we await the score from Chicago, the Tigers pulled within 1/2 of the Chicago White Sox. Your final tonight, Tigers win it over KC in Game 1 in this 4-game series, 6-2. We got a whole lot more coming up for the ballpark. Stay with us.